Public service announcement, people. If you click this video, it would mean the world to me if you watched it all the way to the end. You will not find another video on YouTube about Charlie Sheen that goes into this level of detail, exposing Charlie Sheen and exposing Hollywood in general. This is the type of content that I would usually put on Patreon, but I thought, nah, let me share the love. Let me put some effort in. Don't put this out on Patreon and put this out to the wider community and see if people engage with it. If you do, I might make more of it. If not, I'll just stick to putting these on Patreon. If you do like this type of content, exposing Hollywood, exposing the dark side of these people, head over to my Patreon link. It's in the description below. But anyway, grab a drink, grab a splizzif, and I'll see you lot at the end of the video.
Early in the morning.
So Charlie Sheen is one of the most famous celebrities on the planet. For decades, he has been extremely popular. Charlie's story is a prime example, like his friend Nicolas Cage, of rich kids who are born into Hollywood and how they are groomed into a dark lifestyle based on what they've seen growing up in the industry from their parents, etc. I've got no doubt that in 10, 20, 30 years, we're going to hear stories from Kim K's kids and Will Smith's kids and Dwayne Wade's kids and all these celebrity kids who have been exposed to weird things in the industry. Because Hollywood is a demonic industry that sucks the life and soul out of kids before they're even teenagers. A typical Nepo baby born into a rich family, Charlie faced no consequences for his actions. All he knew was do what I want and get away with it.
At the age of 16, Charlie and his friend got arrested after smoking some pot in his car and passing out. The cop found their stash as well as a knife on Charlie. Fortunately, nothing came of this, as his mother was a friend of the judge handling the case. While he was able to avoid facing legal ramifications, he was arrested a year later at 17 for credit card fraud. Supposedly, Charlie had gone on a 4-day crime spree in which he and a few buddies dug through trash cans at the Beverly Hills Hotel and used the information to purchase TVs, watches, and jewelry.
His dad is Martin Sheen, so he was born into wealth, and Martin Sheen also battled with alcohol abuse, and he was most likely into the occult too from being in Hollywood, and you can tell that the apple did not fall far from the tree. Not only has Charlie abused every woman he's been with, he's also had some disgusting, horrific allegations thrown at him, which involves the abuse of children. And I've got absolutely no doubt in my mind that Charlie Sheen is just another Hollywood puppet, another Hollywood occultist who has traumatized many. So before we talk about Charlie, what he's into and his demonic associations and strange friends, let's actually talk about Hollywood in general very briefly. Hollywood and powerful elite circles in general are full of occultists. If you don't know about the occult beliefs are practices and ideas related to hidden, secret or esoteric knowledge, often encompassing supernatural, mystical and paranormal phenomena that fall outside mainstream science and organized religion. It encompasses magic, astrology, alchemy and the divination, which are seen as ways to access hidden powers and achieve spiritual insight or personal gain. Aleister Crowley is probably the most popular and famous occultist who has inspired Hollywood for generations, from David Bowie to being on the cover of a Beatles album to Jay-Z wearing a jumper that has his Creole on it, do what thou wilt. Aleister Crowley is the biggest inspiration in Hollywood, a Satanist, a nonce, an occultist. Now, while Aleister Crowley wasn't the first to demonstrate sex magic rituals, he definitely popularized it. Occultists perform sex magic rituals to harness the potent energy of sexual arousal and orgasm, aiming to manifest desires, achieve spiritual enlightenment, or alter one's perceived reality. A lot of these occultists believe they can attain a higher state of consciousness through sex magic rituals, and a lot of these rituals often involve bodily fluids like semen, period blood, and feces, but many of them also involve children. A quote from Aleister Crowley read, "A male child of perfect innocence and high intelligence is the most satisfactory and suitable victim." Charlie is a man who is no doubt into the occult. He has often called himself a warlock, which is a man practicing witchcraft.
Good luck with those tin can brain and the mushmouth of some pathetic carcass you so arrogantly attempted to trade out for this warlock.
People think it's just him off his nut on drugs, and that's why he's talking like this. But they don't realize all those drugs and alcohol he was taking was allowing him to access these different spiritual deities that these occultists worship. His life has been full of drugs and sex, especially with men and women. And as I said, occultists practice this to access enlightenment, a higher spiritual self. Doesn't that sound like Diddy? What was Diddy doing in his sex magic rituals with Cassie? Being a voyeur, a cuck, watching Cassie have intercourse with multiple people, men and women. And then Diddy would ask Cassie to rub in the man's liquid. The man's jizz on his nipples, bro. This is what they're into. These occultists are into this. This is their version of magic. This is the fact. This is not a conspiracy. This is a fact. This is literally what they're into. Now, guys, have you ever heard of the saying, you are the company you keep? Well, that's no different for Charlie Sheen. Let's talk about Charlie Sheen's very, very, very close relationship with actor Nicolas Cage. Now, Nicolas Cage is another Nepo baby. His family were in the industry. I believe his uncle was a Hollywood director, and I think his dad was something similar, right? So like Charlie Sheen, they were born into the industry from a child. They were around Hollywood executives, actors. They were around drugs, alcohol. Now, Charlie Sheen and Nicolas Cage are best friends, or they were for decades. They partied every single day. If you watch his recent Netflix documentary, they go into detail about his relationship with Nicolas Cage. All they did was party. Drugs every night, drink every night, girls every night. They even hijacked a commercial plane when they were off their nut, loaded on drugs. And because the police knew who they were, they got let off.
One of the guys was a big enough fan of mine, big enough fan of Nick's, and he just decided to, make sure this doesn't happen again, young man. And we got through,
Yet another experience of the perks of the job.
I guess.
This is a prime example of celebrity privilege, where being a celebrity was like, whoa, this is incredible. Like, if we, you know what I'm saying? You can get away with murder.
He's a rich kid from Malibu. They're not gonna do shit to him. He's Charlie Sheen. He was at his peak then. They're not gonna do anything to him. Are you kidding me?
Now, bearing in mind, people like Nicolas Cage and Charlie Sheen, they've been getting away with murder. They've been getting away with crimes because of their nepotism, because of who their parents know. You have to understand the psychology here, guys. It's deep, right? Charlie Sheen's never been told no. The world has given him exactly what he wants. Anytime he does something bad, he gets away with it. Now, imagine what that does to someone's psyche, knowing that you can get away with absolutely anything because of who you are, who you know. Now, back to Nicolas Cage. Now, Nicolas Cage is an occultist. He's spoken about his belief in magic, the occult, for decades now. He even admits that the film that he made, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, was literally inspired by magic, the occult, and Walt Disney's Fantasia. If you didn't know, by the way, Walt Disney was an occultist himself. He was a Freemason who was part of the Demo Lay Society, an organization designed to groom juniors into Freemasonry. Google it. Demo Lay Society, named after the last Grand Master of the Knights Templar, Jack de Molay. Yeah, this is all fact. So you can see already it's all linked. Disney, Freemasonry, the occult, Nicolas Cage being inspired by the very same occult magic that Walt Disney brought into the world. We can see here that the Oscar winner has always had a fascination with the occult, using the original meaning of the word hidden. He's not sure where his interest in magic and acting began, but believes it goes back to when his father built him a wooden castle in the backyard when he was very young. Just look at the movies Nicolas Cage has appeared in. Most of the movies he's appeared in have many occult themes. Longlegs, a satanic serial killer film. Mandy, a supernatural horror film. Color Out of Space, a Lovecraftian cosmic horror. Pay the Ghost, supernatural horror involving a ghost. Season of the Witch, The Wicker Man, The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Let's not forget about Ghost Rider, which is literally about a man who makes a pact with the devil. He is literally a demon on earth who sells his soul to the devil. You understand? It's not a coincidence. These are the films that Nicolas Cage is involved in. He even said that in order to play the role in the horror film Longlegs and the horror film Dracula, he channeled his parents. He says, what does that say about my childhood? Laughing. That suggests that his parents were heavily involved in the occult. If you don't know about spirit channeling, let me educate you.
All actors, we hail from the early medicine men and the shamans in the villages, but it's all semantics. So what I would do is I put on Afro-Caribbean paint, like a white and black paint, and black out my eyes, so I was an Afro-Caribbean voodoo icon, and then I would sew in bits of Egyptian artifacts that were 1,000 years old in the costume, and gather some onyx or tourmaline or something that was meant to have vibration. To me, it was an idea of like trying to stimulate my mind or trick my mind, believing I was this character in another dimension.
Is it possible that these actors and actresses are possessed by demonic spirits who have a specific agenda to fulfill? Oscar award-winning actor Denzel Washington told 60 Minutes exactly how he brings forth his best performances.
Basically what I did was got on my knees and sort of communicated with the spirits. And when I came out, I was in charge.
Powerful scene.
Powerful scene. I couldn't have acted that. I couldn't have written that down and made a decision to play that.
I remember sometimes we do 10 episodes of my show, and in this last season, I was hitting a block. Like, I was like, oh, I'm not doing it right? So I went in the corner, and then I was looking at the wall, and I was like, come on, devil, right?
Come on, devil.
Come to me, because I had to do something like crazy, right? I had nightmares for a month. So it does come after, like nightmares every day. I just felt that energy, and I had to pray and do all this stuff to like get rid of it. And You call your mom up and you're like, you're back to life. And that stuff is real. That stuff really is real.
You know, I would pray to him. You know, I would channel his energy. I would just ask to be around.
You know, I would pray to him. You know, I would channel his energy.
When did you feel it the most?
Honestly, it was when was on the platform. And we were going to use it while the train wasn't running. And tons of extras, limited takes, one camera. But that's where his presence was on me the most, I think, at the platform for sure. It was, yeah, it's that weird, eerie feeling, but it was a good feeling. You know, I don't think I could have done it without him.
It was a good feeling. You know, I don't think I could have done it without him.
Being there.
Him, Oscar.
Yeah.
The energy of Oscar.
Oscar's presence, for sure.
Yeah.
The one-woman entertainment empire known as Oprah has strong affiliations with the demonic realm. The most familiar face on television says,
"You can not only use your body and physical self. This is how I see acting. I ask my body to be the carrier for the spirits of those who have come before me in a way that is most meaningful to the character. Just become the vehicle for that character."
Calling out for these entities to take her over so that she may become a sparkling puppet, Oprah admits of her work before the camera.
"I tried to empty myself and let the spirit inhabit me."
Those were clips from Damson Idris, Denzel Washington, many Hollywood celebrities. They often admit that in order to get the best out of their performances, they have to channel spirits. Heath Ledger, what did Heath Ledger do to create the Joker? He went into a hotel for months on end, didn't sleep, was doing whatever, just to really channel the spirit of what the Joker is. That ended up killing him. Damson Idris said he had to pray for a month because he channeled such negative spirits to get the performance he wanted for Snowfall. Spirit channeling is very real. Many actors talk about this.
These characters, because it's very spiritual what we do as actors. You're on the set, you have your chakras all open, you're allowing this character to use your body as a vessel. And so you have to learn how to flip the switch on and flip it off, otherwise it drive you mad. Because it's spiritual what we do, you understand? Yeah. We allow these characters and these stories to use our bodies as a vessel. That is a real, like if you think about it, that's you allowing this other energy.
I let the character speak to it. What we do as actors is very spiritual. You're on set, and that's why I don't pick a lot of roles, because it's spiritual, and I'm all alive and I'm open and my chakras are open. And I'm letting this character use my body as a vessel to tell its truth. And so when I'm open like that, a lot of energies can be around me. I'm sorry, because energy is strong, y'all, and you got to be particular about who you keep around you. Like seriously, if they down and cloudy and they downtrodden, they got a cloud around you hanging around, you think you gonna get wet?
So like every day was just going into this place, and I just tried to stay there as long as I could. And then when it was all over, I think just being in that kind of that mind state, that real unapologetic, you know, just real, like, you know, whatever all the time, kind of kept it caught up with me, and like I got a little depressed. It was tough for me for a minute, you know, just readjusting to being around the people that care about me, getting that love that I shut out for a long time. Like I shut out love. I didn't want love and affection. I wanted to be in this lonely place as long as I could and kind of capture the essence of what Eric, you know, Stevens was, what Killmonger was. So when we wrapped the film, you know, I'm like, in my mind, it's like, okay, cool, go back to, you know, regular life, get back to LA, it'd be cool. But it was a little tough for me at first to kind of like accept.
It's hard just to lay him down and be done with it.
Yeah.
How did it take you a while?
It took me, you know, I mean, I don't really know exactly when I came out of it, but, you know, I went to therapy, you know what I'm saying? I started talking to people, started unpacking a little bit. And you know,
I find that so interesting. I find that so interesting because I think.
So for Nicolas Cage to channel his parents in order to get performances for horror films suggests this guy is deep in the occult. Charlie Sheen is best friends with this guy. Look at your screen right now. This is a pyramid tomb. Nicolas Cage bought this pyramid tomb in 2010. On the tomb, it says Omnia Ab Uno. Now, if you didn't know, this is a direct relation to alchemy. Yeah, alchemy is part of the occult. In alchemy and Hermetic philosophy, the phrase Omnia Ab Uno reflects the idea that all things in the universe originate from a single primal source. I'm not going to go into too much detail now because I've done it on Patreon, but alchemists believe in spiritual enlightenment. They believe that through certain rituals, through certain practices, they can unlock the philosopher's stone. Not only that, they believe in the prima materia, which is known as first matter, and they also believe in Hermetic maxim, one is all and all is one. So Nicolas Cage is showing you and telling you what he believes in. The fact that it's a pyramid is so intentional. The pyramid symbolism in esotericism represents ascension, immortality, and the meeting of earthly and the divine planes. So when the physical realm meets the spiritual realm, and in occult associations, the phrase of a pyramid tomb suggests belief in spiritual transformation beyond death, that the soul returns to the one from which all things came, right? So I know we're talking a lot about Nicolas Cage right now, but it's all relevant. Look at Nicolas Cage. He built a tomb for him to be placed in when he dies. He's fully an occultist, and look at the films he's done. Charlie Sheen has partied for decades with this man. This very same man who believes in the occult, exactly the same as Charlie Sheen does. It's not a coincidence. You are the company you keep. Who else is Charlie Sheen very closely associated with? Brian Peck. If you didn't know, Brian Peck was named by Drake Bell in 2024 as the man who abused him as a child horrifically. Brian Peck even went to jail for it. He went to jail for doing unspeakable, horrific things to Drake Bell when Drake Bell was like 8 years old or 10 years old, whatever he was, 11 years old, something like that. And after his jail sentence, he still got hired by Disney for Sweet Life and Zack and Cody and The Amanda Show on Nickelodeon. The same Nickelodeon that was ran by Dan Schneider, another Hollywood nonce. The documents show that Peck was originally charged with 11 counts, including lewd act upon a child, of a person under 16, attempted of a person under 16 by foreign object, 4 counts of population of a person under 16, Asia or controlled substance, sending harmful matter and using a minor for sex. He ended up pleading no contest, got found guilty of some things and other things got dismissed because he pled no contest. He ended up getting like less than a year in jail, I think. I think he got a year in jail for doing unspeakable acts to Drake Bell as a child.
On the day of sentencing for Brian, I get to the courthouse. It was the most unbelievable thing I'd ever seen. His entire side of the courtroom was full. Full. There were definitely some recognizable faces on that side of the room. And my side was me, my mom, and my brother. Brian had been convicted, but getting all of this support from a lot of people in the industry, and yeah, I was pretty shocked. I addressed my statement to everyone in the room. I looked at all of them, and I just said, how dare you? And I said, you will forever have the memory of sitting in this courtroom and defending this person. And I will forever have the memory of the person you're defending violating me and doing unspeakable acts and crimes. And that's what I'll remember.
That clip there was Drake Bell explaining what happened at the court case after the sentencing. So he's been sentenced, and on Brian Peck's side of the court was loads of Hollywood executives, familiar faces supporting a nonce. Why? Because Hollywood protects pedos. This is a fact. It's not a conspiracy. This is what it is. I'm proving it right now in this video. And on Drake Bell's side, he had no one, but this Hollywood nonce was protected. He got a little time in jail, and he went straight back to work for Disney and Nickelodeon. Now, as we know, Charlie Sheen was in a film called Anger Management. Guess who he hired as the dialogue coach? Brian Peck. This is Charlie Sheen tweeting in 2013. This is a picture of Charlie Sheen and Brian Peck getting drunk in Scotland. This is Charlie Sheen tweeting again, him and Brian Peck. This is Charlie Sheen again, back at work and hanging with the wolf and the Peck. This is him and Brian again. This is him and Brian again. This is him and Brian again. So let me make this clear. Charlie Sheen is very good friends with a man who raped Drake Bell when he was a child, so much so that he ended up getting him more work on the film Anger Management. Okay, all right. If one of my friends came out as a nonce, we ain't ever dealing with each other again, bro. If anything, I might end up doing something crazy, bro. If I'm not even gonna lie to you. So we've got his two closest friends, Nicolas Cage, an open occultist who's built a pyramid tomb for the afterlife, yeah? And he's got another best friend in Brian Peck, known nonce, known in the industry for hosting little pool parties where he used to get girls round, bro. Now, before we even talk about the even darker aspects of Charlie Sheen, when it comes to children, let's talk about his abuse towards women. He's abused every wife he's ever had. As you can see, the actor Charlie Sheen pinned his wife to a bed, held a knife to her throat and threatened to kill her in the Christmas morning argument that led to his arrest on domestic violence charges, according to the woman's police statement. Muella told police Sheen flew into a rage, wrestled her onto the bed, grabbed her by the throat, pulled out a knife and held it to her neck. "You better be in fear," Sheen said. "If you tell anyone, I'll kill you. Your mother's money means nothing. I have ex-police I can hire who know how to get the job done, and they won't leave any trace." Wow. The officer noted red marks on Muller's neck. She told police similar incidents had occurred before. Oh, we're not done. Let's talk about his girl before that. Ashland filed her lawsuit against Sheen in 97, claiming that on December 20th, 96, Sheen grabbed her by the hair and slammed her onto the marble floor of his Angora Hills home, knocking her unconscious and splitting her lip so badly she required 7 stitches. The suit also claimed that Sheen forced her to strip off and dispose of her bloody clothes and threatened to kill her if she told anyone about the assault. The suit charged the actor with assault, battery, negligence, false imprisonment and emotional distress and asked for unspecific damages. Police investigated the claim and prosecutors quickly filed criminal charges against him for misdemeanor battery with serious injury. There was also the story of him shooting one of his wives accidentally, and the story they end up agreeing on was, oh, it was an accident, and they were arguing or something, and the gun dropped and pinged off, and she got hit with shrapnel or whatever, right? They divorced shortly afterwards. The reality is, this man is a monster, guys. He's full of demonic energy, darkness. When you are born and raised in this Hollywood industry, full of nonsense, full of Satanists, people who sacrifice children, people who abuse children, that's the energy you pick up. So no wonder he's an alcoholic, he's a drug addict. He may have started by escaping a lot of his problems, but went on to cause problems for other people. Now, I empathize with him from that point of view. You're looking at someone who, as I said, I went to rehab 2 years ago. I'm an alcoholic, I'm an addict myself, but you will not find one person who can claim that I put a knife to their throat, a woman or a child, yeah, or did any madness to a child like a nonce. You will not find one human that will accuse me of that, because it's fake, it's not true. So I'm not going to blame the drugs and alcohol for doing that to him, because I relate to him in so many different ways in terms of his addiction. But that didn't do that to me. I didn't then go on to abuse other people. You know what I'm saying? So it clearly brought out the worst side of you that was already in you, Charlie Sheen. And again, like all his friends, like all his buddies, like everything he's seen, he got accused of grape when he was 19, and he allegedly raped a 13-year-old boy named Corey Haim. Now, they speak about this in the documentary, and the one evidence on his side, it says, oh, even his mum came out and said it wasn't true. That's fair. His mum did come out, this Corey Haim person's mum. Right, but her argument was, oh, me and Corey were so close, he would always tell me everything. So the fact that he didn't tell me it was Charlie Sheen means, oh, it didn't happen, but he did get abused by someone. What? I don't believe the mum at all, because we know about parents in the industry. We know how much parents push their kids in the industry, sell their kids out to the industry. That happens every single day. We know parents will happily sell out their kids for $1. But what I do believe is Corey Haim. Corey Haim alleges that on the set of Lucas, I think the film was, Charlie Sheen said to him, this is what we do in Hollywood. This is normal. Yeah, this is what's supposed to happen. And he put oil on him and he graped him. Corey Haim actually told people about this. This wasn't a one-time thing he said in passing. It wasn't like, oh, by the way, this happened. He went into great detail, a crying Feldman said in the documentary about Haim, who died of pneumonia in 2010. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute. He told me Charlie bent me over in between two trailers and put Crisco oil on my butt and graped me in broad daylight. Anybody could have walked by it, anybody could have seen it. Feldman's ex-wife also said that he shared with me that on the set of Lucas, he was raped as a little boy. He told me that it was his co-star, and he told me that it was Charlie Sheen that did it. He died of pneumonia in 2010. What? After dealing with alcohol and drug abuse for a long time. Now, alcohol and drug abuse doesn't contribute to pneumonia, but what do we know about pneumonia? The same pneumonia that killed Brittany Murphy. The same pneumonia that killed Kim Porter. The same pneumonia that has killed so many different people in Hollywood. Out of nowhere, some fast-paced pneumonia. It's not a coincidence, guys. It's not a coincidence. The CIA have already admitted and spoken about that there's certain gases, there's certain experiments that they can cause like things in your body that creates like pneumonia type symptoms. This is all like, it's all, if you know how dark this shit really is, it's crazy. So Charlie Sheen, I believe Corey Haim, but we can't ask him no more because he's dead. After dealing with his demons for too long, he's dead. So I believe that Charlie Sheen raped Haim when he was 19 and Graham was 13. I believe that. I believe all the women that say he's abused them. He's actually been convicted for a lot of it. He gets away with it, but he's been like, he'll get a slap on the wrist, but it's confirmed. We know that he's closely tied with Nicolas Cage, a deep occultist, and Brian Peck, a known nonce. Even the person that replaced him, Ashton Kutcher, even he was partying with Diddy for years. He was like best mates with Diddy. He even admitted in that interview that he can't talk about what happened at the Diddy parties.
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote if you
really?
have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, like,
him and Mila Kunis even publicly supported a known rapist. They had to apologize for it. Yeah, because because this rapist was getting sentenced, and they wrote a letter of like what do you call it? You know, them letter of when you just write a letter to like talk about someone, like a reference almost. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher had to apologize because they backed a known Hollywood rapist who's jailed for like 20-30 years. This is the industry, guys. This is the industry. What can I say? I could talk about this for hours. I'm trying to compile it into a short enough video for you to keep your attention span, but this video is going to be like 30 minutes long, fam. Charlie Sheen is a monster. Yes, he's an addict. Yes, he's an alcoholic. The alcohol and addiction, it brought out the demons in him. Looking at the guy, you can just see the black, dark energy around him. But the reason why he's so popular is he's charismatic. He's funny. He's charming. He lived the life as a celebrity that all of us kind of wanted to live when you were young. We all think it's cool to go drinking and partying. Nah, forget all that, man. I've done that. I've lived my whole life like that. Partying. Women. Drugs. All it is demonic, bro. What you do need to do is go back to God, fam. That's literally what it is. There is no presence of God or a positive higher entity in Hollywood and in these upper elites. They believe in Gnosticism. They believe in Thelema. They believe in alchemy. They believe in dark magic. That's what they believe in. So whether you're an atheist or whatever you believe, it doesn't matter. You can go about your day not believing in any of this. The people that run your world, the people that run your country, the people that make decisions for you do believe in this stuff. Fact. Yeah, it can't be denied. Now, just to end, let's talk about this. Charlie Sheen has finally admitted in this documentary and in his book that he's gay. Yeah? So we now know he does like men. So it's not like out of the realm of possibility that he liked young boys as well, right? I mean, he's bisexual, but when you're a man and you're bi, to me you're gay, innit? Like if you like men doing all this, you're gay basically. You feel me? So Charlie Sheen spent millions on prostitutes, not just women, men as well, millions, right? What do you think he was doing with all these prozzies, with all these drugs in the air, all the alcohol flying around, all these brasses? He's performing sex magic rituals on a daily basis, pretty much. That's what he's into. He's an occultist, bro. Fact. Just like many Hollywood. He even admits that after having so many encounters with like different people and men, he got blackmailed on a Diddy ting, on an Epstein ting. Exactly what they're into. As you can see here, the only couple of times I didn't tell somebody was because the last 25 times I told somebody, they used it against me and they used my medical condition for their own folly and financial gain. That was when he was talking about HIV. I quote, they had videoed things or whatever, or had stuff over me, he explained.
Richard's reason for filing for divorce was what she described as inappropriate behavior, claiming that Sheen had an attraction to underage women. She later went on to allege that Charlie watched a gay of boys who, in her words, looked underage. I told him I discovered some material on a website that he belongs to, which I found very disturbing. Websites which promoted very young girls who looked very underage to me with pigtails and braces. I also told him about other websites I discovered that he accessed involving gay material, also involving young men who didn't look like adults. I told him as a mother I found this information very disturbing because we had 2 young daughters and that I believed he had a serious problem which he needed to deal with and that he should not be around our children. He reiterated that there was nothing wrong with the sites that he was accessing and that I needed to turn my head and ignore it.
That was a clip explaining what one of his ex-wives found on Charlie's computers and whatnot. She alleges that one of the main reasons for the divorce was she found inappropriate content of underage boys and girls on his computers. Yeah? This is long before he admitted he's gay or whatever, likes men, all these things. She found all that on his stuff. Disturbing images of girls looking like school-age girls and young boys, bro. The guy is a nonce. Just like everyone else in Hollywood, this is what they're into because this is what they're groomed in. Do you understand what I'm telling you? A lot of these people don't know any different because this is what they was born and raised in. Doesn't make it right. You gotta know, once you get old enough, you gotta know this is wrong. But guys, this is like Charlie Sheen, he's finished, bro. I don't want this documentary to come out and like have people perceive him in a positive light. Once he dies, there's gonna be so many people that come out of the woodwork saying Charlie Sheen did this, and this. That's what's gonna happen. This was a long deep dive, a very, very long deep dive. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something today. If you like this type of content, as I said, please head over to my Patreon. I got many, many videos exactly like this. If you made it this far in the video, I know you're a real one. Because you're a real one, I want you to use my signature emoji to show me that you made it to the end of this video. Comment 3 juice emojis. Yeah, 3 juice emojis like the ones you see on your screen right now. That lets me know that you're loyal, you made it all the way to the end. I appreciate you. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay vigilant, and I'll see you lot at the next video. Peace.